What's going on, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about the actual offer getting accepted, and what immediately happens after that so you can be prepared for your VA home loan journey. My name is David Piatek. I am a loan officer and able to help you utilize that amazing VA home loan. You can schedule a call with me down in the description below. So, the timeline that we talked about last time when we talked about house hunting and we talked about submitting a winning offer. So, let's be positive and let's focus in on you submitted the offer on the property. That typically could be turned around the same day, or if the property has a deadline, let's say in 3 days, then they're going to be reviewing that offer and then contacting you in regards to it. Now, a couple of things could happen from that, right? It can be immediately accepted with the terms that you submitted. Now, there could be times that you submit with, let's say, asking for a seller credit. They may come back and negotiate with you to say, well, you asked for 10,000, but we're willing to give $5,000. And again, this is why it's so important to understand your financial picture and that pre-approval process, because it's going to lay out how much money you can give, how much earnest money you're going to give, and we're going to talk about that in a second, because it's going to set you up for success on making a strong offer, which again is going to lead into getting a contract accepted. Hopefully, not too many offers are on that property, kind of speeding up that process significantly. Hopefully, it's something that happens within a short period of time. We love to see same day offers being accepted because it helps you move along that timeline. Just know with VA home loans, that typical time frame is going to be 25 to 30-day closing. So just be ready for that if that comes up, because that could be a pretty big step in that process that you just need to be ready for. But again, that pre-approval process is going to line it up. Now, when you're making the offers on the property and the property is accepted, right? The first thing that you want to do is contact your loan officer. In fact, you should probably contact them before that when you're submitting the offer, because what we love to do is actually reach out to the listing agent, introduce ourselves on the offer itself. Yes, it's a bit more work, but we've seen huge success with it when we open up communication as early as possible, because that's what people like to do, or at least that's what they like, right? Just like yourself, communication is important. And when they hear from the loan officer before they're even under contract, especially if they have questions about a VA home loan, because they may not have much experience with it, it just, again, opens up the door significantly for you to get an accepted offer on the property. But the contract comes in, you need to immediately send that to your loan officer. With that, right, you're going to talk to the loan officer to go through the finalized numbers to make sure that, yes, everything is good. You're good with the payment. You understand what the monthly payment's going to be, especially if you're buying a condo, what the HOA fees are going to be, and then any adjustments that can happen from there, especially if you're buying in a different area than you originally planned on, because closing costs are going to significantly shift based on the city, county, and state that you're buying in. So just note that, because we've seen drastic closing cost shifts upwards typically when you're buying in major cities, because they're charging for transfer taxes. Hopefully, you don't have to run into that. So even if you're a disabled veteran, you still have to pay those fees, even with that, because it's just a matter of transferring the actual property itself. A couple things you want to think about when you are under contract is how to take title of a property. This is something that's not talked about much online. I did some research to see, you know, what topics exist around that. So, what does that mean when you want to take title? So, as a veteran yourself, right? If you're not married, typically you're just going to take the property in your own name. If you are married, then you can include your spouse on the title of the property, even if they're not in the mortgage. But you can also have them be on the mortgage. So both of you are on the mortgage and both of you are on the title of the property. We get a lot of questions from veterans that will be like, hey, my significant other wants to be on title because they're contributing some money to the purchase transaction. Unfortunately, they can't do it during the time of a purchase or even a refinance unless you are legally married at the time of closing. You don't have to be married leading up to the application process, but just keep that in the back of your mind. And if you're buying in a community property state, a lot of times they're going to be on the title of the property, but that's something you need to check with the title company to see exactly how that's going to be structured. Because again, there's legalities to it, especially if you want to go to sell. Then they have to sign off on that, especially. And also, if you go through a divorce situation, same thing. You want all the numbers finalized and documentation finalized so you can remove whoever is on title off of it so you can have full ownership of the property. It's a pretty important step because if you don't do that correctly, then again, you're going to run into issues when you sell the property. Now, there's going to be some important timelines in the contract itself. And in the prior videos, we talked about making sure that you understand what you are signing and the time frames that go with certain things, like getting a home inspection. When do you have to submit the earnest money, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. It's going to talk about when is the financing contingency, when is the appraisal contingency. Those are important things because they protect your earnest money, right? The loan process itself is going to kick off once you're under contract. Now, this process I recommend doing as quickly as possible. Ordering the appraisal, that's something that, there's normally some leeway on, depending again on how fast you're trying to close. Because if you're trying to close within, let's say, a 20-day period or 25-day period, typically you have to order the appraisal right away. But a lot of times people will wait to order the appraisal until the home inspection is completed so they know that they're moving forward with the transaction. There's some upfront costs that come with this, okay? Doing the pre-approval, normally there's no cost. Looking at homes, no cost with that. But when you go under contract on the house, you're going to have some upfront fees that you're going to pay. Even though closing costs could be 3% of a transaction, so let's say $500,000 property, to make numbers easy, is $15,000. It's not like you have to put up $15,000 on the spot. What you will have to pay for are things like a home inspection. Even though it's not required by the VA, it's strongly recommended that you get one because the appraiser that goes out there isn't a licensed home inspector. They're just looking at the VA's minimum property requirements, which we're going to talk about in an upcoming video. But I also did a video the other year on the channel on VA housing education, so you can check that out on all the things that go into the appraisal process that can hinder things, right? This is step one, right? You've gone under contract on the property, lenders disclosing out the loan disclosures to you, going over them with you. But at this point, you're not signing with blood, okay? That's going to happen at the very end at closing. So between now and the closing, there could be an opportunity to get out of the contract. But again, you have to read through that so you understand it. Which leads us into the earnest money. That earnest money, right, is a deposit of good faith for the property itself. There's a lot of, let's say, banter around how much money this should be. And for some veterans, they're like, well, if I have my VA home loan and I'm doing 100% financing, why do I have to put any earnest money down? Again, that is something that's with a real estate transaction in general. There's only been a handful of times in doing thousands of VA loans that they didn't put an earnest deposit down. And that's typically if they're buying from family or they're buying from the person they're already like renting a property from. So you can use your VA loan to purchase the home that you're living in. It's a pretty neat feature to do that. Then, right, it goes to how much money you put down. And that can range, people will tell you 1 to 5% or 10%, whatever it is that you want to be competitive with on that loan. So if you're thinking to yourself, if I take out 100% financing, but I'm putting, let's just say hypothetically, $20,000 down, and my closing costs are only $10,000, well, what happens to the other $10,000 in the transaction? Well, there's a couple things that you can do with that money. One, if you want to put a down payment, you can on the VA loan, right? Not required. Sometimes it might be an advantage to do that if you're trying to keep the mortgage payment lower. But typically, you got to put a lot of money to do that. Otherwise, you might want to reduce your VA funding fee if you don't have a 10% or greater VA disability rating. Then again, you can use that money towards that down payment. Now, if none of that is exhausted, okay, you basically put 20,000 down, $10,000 in earnest deposit. You get that money back at closing. That's what happened to my situation. I put down more than the closing cost for my earnest money, and I just literally got a check at closing to put that money back in the bank account, just because I wanted to make my offer as strong as possible. And same thing with contingencies. So you really have to be able to review that and see how that's going to be laid out. Also, at this point is when you want to look at locking interest rates, because when you're pre approved, you're just doing the initial phase of, hey, am I qualified to buy a property? I am. I have enough assets. Yes, I have a pre approval letter. I can go make an offer on the property. But those are things that you kind of have to think of while you're going through that. One super important thing with earnest money I want to touch on before we wrap up: you can receive a gift as a veteran using the VA home loan or surviving spouse, right? Using the VA home loan, let's just leave it at that. You can get a gift for that money from somebody else, right? Normally, it would have to be like other loan programs, has to be like a relative or blood relative. With VA home loans, really anybody can give you that earnest money. They just need to sign off that it is a gift to you and you don't owe that money back to them. So we see a lot of or not friends. I wish I had friends like that. But we see family members that will give them the earnest money to help with a down payment and or closing costs. So keep that in the back of your mind that that is an option, because people that go into a transaction may be like, well, where do I get the money from? Which you can also utilize a 401k loan or something like that. Again, I'll probably do a separate video just talking about where assets and earnest money can come from. So you guys have an idea of where you can brainstorm to get money to be able to do this earnest money or pay for closing costs and be able to do some type of down payment if that's something you desire to do. So make sure you guys check out the whole series, because we got 16 videos on this topic, and just check out the channel because we do a ton of different videos about what's happening in the veteran housing space, policy changes that affect veterans. So that way you guys are in the know. Plus, you can share this with other veterans, because a lot of people have questions around the VA loan. And plus, there's like 30,000 plus veterans every month utilizing that amazing VA home loan in one form or another. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.